Welcome to episode 2 of the Road to Istanbul series, which gives you a look behind the scenes at the host city for the UEFA Champions League final and exclusive access to international football stars. Today we're here at the beautiful Atatürk Cultural Center, and I'm going to have a chance to speak with a German legend who lifted the Champions League trophy with Bayern Munich and a Turkish star who is currently shining with Beşiktaş here in Turkey. I'm delighted to welcome Cenk Tosun and Mario Gómez.
Two in the box. It's beautiful goal, Cenk Tosun.
Pedro, my friend, how are you?
Hey,
Good?
Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
And I think you know each other. I think you know. Hey.
Nice to see you.
Welcome.
All right, guys, let's go have a chat right over there. Looking forward to it. So here we are. I'm really looking forward to speaking with these star strikers. We're going to talk Turkey, we're going to talk Istanbul, UEFA Champions League. But first of all, I have to ask you, how does it feel to see each other again? You played at Beşiktaş together, won the title together, scored 46 goals between the two of you. So how does it feel?
Most of them scored Mario. I didn't score much.
It's true, he had 29, you had 17. But,
Is it?
but yeah.
17 is a lot
Still good.
for a backup striker. Come on.
No, it was amazing to see Mario again and I really missed him. He was a really special person for me.
You talked about adapting to a new culture, and we know how you did on the pitch, but off the pitch, when you arrived in Istanbul, how did you find the people in Turkey, the passion for football, the atmosphere in the stadiums as well?
Yeah, not just about football. I mean, me and my wife and me, we really loved this year here. I mean, this was just. Sometimes I'm telling people that this was the best year in my career because the full package was just amazing. We became champion after like 8 or 9 years again with Beşiktaş. I scored the first goal in this most beautiful arena in the world, in my opinion. So many positive moments I had here in soccer, but then as well, I mean, I have to tell you that everybody who came to visit us, they left to the airport and they were asking when can we come back. So it's Istanbul. It's an amazing city. It's one of my top 3 favorite cities in the world. So I really loved, and I'm really happy always to come back and be here with the people. Very friendly, very friendly. I never saw this somewhere else. Yeah, it was a beautiful year.
Let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. What does it mean in the career of a player to be able to participate in this competition, and how did you feel when you were hearing this anthem?
I mean, it is a special moment for everyone. It's the dream of every single player, football player. In my opinion, it's the best tournament in the world. So every game I played in the Champions League, I really enjoyed it, the anthem, the atmosphere, everything. And maybe the right person to ask the Champions League is Mario, because he won the title there as well. But in personal, if I speak about Champions League, I still get goosebumps.
Wow. Mario, you won it obviously in 2013 with Bayern against Dortmund, all-German final. When you got your hands on that trophy, what were you thinking?
Yeah, it's what he said. I mean, a dream came true. It's been, I think, one of the most beautiful days in my life, of course, because we had this final a year before against Chelsea. We lost, and nobody still knows how we could lose this game. So we really had the power and the energy to tell people, okay, this year is our time. And then the final was not that good. I mean, Dortmund been at least strong as us, but maybe some also better. But at the end, we just got the trophy, and I still have the pictures in my mind when we got the cup, and then I lifted it to the fans. And actually, 1 week later, there was the very important game for the club because we could win the triple, and it was against my former club Stuttgart. So this was also very special, and I played this final and scored twice. So it's when I tell you that the year in Beşiktaş was really special. Of course, 2013 was also one of the biggest years in my career. When I was young, I could never imagine to be one time in the class with these top players. But 2011, 12, 13, I think I've been really on my top level of capacity of playing football. And in this time, we won the cup. We played 3 times the final. We lost it twice, and we won it against Dortmund. So it was a really special period in my career.
Toughest defender that you faced in the Champions League, and why?
To name one player is difficult right now, but I could say Koulibaly was a tough defender when we played Napoli, and Upamecano, who plays for Bayern Munich right now, even if he was in his young ages, and he played for Leipzig, he was really strong, fast, good as a header. He was a top player as well.
Mario?
Oh, this is a really difficult question because there are different players, type of players, and of course I have to say Puyol because he was a beast. He was just a monster. And actually, my father is Spanish, so I always felt like I'm going to the pitch saying hello to these guys because, of course, I'm half Spanish and we are brothers. So I went to the pitch and said hi, and he was not answering me, and then he was kicking me and was not answering anything. And then after the game, he came, gave me the hand. It was like we've been friends always, and I was like, this is strange. I mean, you were screaming on me 90 minutes, now kicking me every time, and now you're so friendly again. But this is his character on the field. He always just been crazy good as well for his team, not for the opponents. Then of course Sergio Ramos was in his time was in Madrid. He was a beast. But if we're talking about the real strong opponent, the strong defender, I always remember the game against Manchester United, Nemanja Vidic. I mean, the central back being Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic, and these two guys, they were just incredible. Vidic at this time was unbelievable. So he was strong, fast, good header, very good technique. So he opened the game really good. So I remember this game. I think I lost everything in this game. I did not score, of course. I did not score, but I did not even shoot on the goal. So it was a tough game. He was a really great defender.
Who was the player you most enjoyed playing with on your team in the competition as well?
I mean, in Champions League, we actually didn't play together. We played in the Europa League with Mario. I would say Mario, but as I said, we didn't play in the Champions League together. Not just because he's here. He was an amazing striker. I enjoyed it so much to play with him. He was maybe one of the best strikers I played with. I learned a lot of things of him. But in the Champions League, I could say Ricardo Quaresma was one of the best player or the most enjoyable player I played with because he was so skillful. He was amazing crosser, and for the striker, that's so important. If there's a guy who can cross with closed eyes.
I love this guy.
Yes,
to be honest.
I could say Ricardo Quaresma, of course.
Thanks for saying that because I'm Portuguese, right? So you're being very nice. I'm joking. The guy was unbelievable. What about you, Mario? Who did you most enjoy playing with?
I mean, if we are talking about the competition Champions League, I have, of course, to tell you the players from Bayern Munich because this, as I told you before, the period there was just incredible. The 4 years there, and there have been so many special players in this team. I mean, to start with my 2 wingers, let's say my 2 wingers, because I had to adapt a lot. Again, I had to adapt because they've been the stars and I was just the finisher. So On the left hand there was Frank Ribéry, very, very skillful and an amazing teammate. So he always tried to bring me in position. On the other hand, Arjen Robben, totally different. He always wanted to finish, so he never saw me, but he used me to play with, but then he wanted to finish by himself. So with him I always had to speculate with the goalkeepers for the second ball, the rebound. So I did many goals of rebounds of shots from Arjen. So these two players been really, really special. And then of course one of my favorite players all time is Philipp Lahm, because he was just incredible. I played many years in the national team with him and then in Bayern. And I think in this 10 years national team or 12 years and 4 years Bayern, he lost less than 20 balls. He never lose a ball. This is just unbelievable. And he was not very, let's say, he never did a show or something. He was not maybe for the fans. He was not so skillful like Arjen or Frank. But understanding a football game, the rhythm of a football game and the situation, clarify a situation, a heavy situation for the defenders, you could always give him the ball and he was taking care about it. And that's why for me he was a really, really special teammate.
Cenk, what did it mean to you to have the best goal of the 2017 Champions League season?
It was amazing because I couldn't sleep that night. I just speak honest. I watched the goal maybe 500 times in my bed. I couldn't believe that happened. As everybody knows, we were 3-0 down on the half-time. That was a very bad half-time for us. The fans called us to give us some motivation for the second half. I came on the second half, and that was like a push, like a motivation for the team as well when they saw that goal, 2-3-1, because we needed to get them up to success the comeback. After the 3-1, the game changed totally to our side.
But what I have to say about the bicycle goal, I mean, I did this million of times in my life.
In training?
When I was young, 12, 11, in training, when nobody saw it. And then I had 20 years career and I never scored like this, so congratulations. It's a really,
actually,
it was
one
a really
year
beauty.
after, I scored against Portuguese team. I scored a lot against Casillas. I think in 2017, 2018, that was the goal of the year as well, if I'm not wrong, when I scored from, I don't know, from a distance to Casillas in Dragao. So these two goals are really special for me, I need to say that.
This season, obviously, we know that the final is going to be right here in Istanbul. Without putting too much pressure on you, I'm not going to ask you who you think is going to make it, but who would you like to make the final? I'll start with Cenk.
It's always a special event to have the Champions League here in Turkey. I mean, of course, Real Madrid is the winner of last season, and the coach, Mr. Ancelotti, is still there. I worked with him in Everton. I really like him. He's a special person for me. I like his stuff, even if we didn't work together too long time, because when he got an offer from Real Madrid, he left us. He's a very special person for me, and I would say I would give my choice for Real Madrid.
And you, Mario? At least one of them, I think. I know who you're going to say.
I mean, the last 10 years, how many times we said, okay, now it's over with them, and they came back again, and this is just the beast of the Champions League, this team. I mean, this is unbelievable. Also now, after the first 15 minutes, I thought, okay, now it's done, and then they came back like crazy. So this team is just, and as I told you before, since I'm like this, I'm a Barca supporter. But to be honest, the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I don't know when they won the first time 8 years ago, I have to tell you that I really, really enjoy what they do, well, because they believe until the last second in themselves. So this is a really, really big team. I think the biggest in our time, and that's why I think also that Madrid will go through really, really strong. If they gonna win it again, I don't know, because as we said in the final, there's always little situations which can decide a game.
Final question to both of you is, whoever makes the final, okay, what would you tell those clubs' fans that they should do in Turkey and in Istanbul when they're here. When they come here, few days. Normally they take a few days because it's also a weekend. What should they see? What should they do? What should they try?
I mean, I'm from this country and I love Turkey, not just because it's my country. We have a lot of very nice cities to go, but Istanbul is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I would recommend them to come a couple days earlier, as you said, and see some special places, eat some traditional Turkish food, and just see the city, enjoy the city, and then just get ready for the game. The stadiums are amazing. The atmosphere will be amazing. These are my recommendations.
Mario?
Same. I mean, for me it's a bit more difficult because this city is huge, and of course there are many nice places, but I just can't tell you the places I've been around. So I was living between Nişantaşı and Beşiktaş in this neighborhood, so it was just amazing. You can just walk around and see the beauty of the city, then always with the view to the Bosporus. I would recommend people to go once to this area to see the Vodafone Arena with the Bosporus behind. Then they realize that it's really the most beautiful stadium in the world. And then of course the food. They just should go to Turkish restaurants because the food. Actually, I had the first, I don't know how many years after I left Istanbul, I had always Turkish breakfast because I just loved it so much. Then after a while, I went to different places, and of course, I'm back on the German culture again. But I really enjoyed the breakfast, the Turkish breakfast. There are so many nice buildings and places and plazas where you can be here. Taksim is really a historical place. The old city here, it's beautiful. So many nice places. You should take at least 1 year to discover everything, like I did.
Yeah, that might not be possible for the fans coming, but there are some recommendations that you're leaving to the fans that will be making it here for that final in Istanbul on the 10th of June. And it was a pleasure to reunite you here on the Road to Istanbul show on the Go Turkey YouTube channel. And I hope you also enjoyed getting to know both of these star strikers a little bit better and get some behind the scenes tips from both of them on Istanbul and some of their stories from the UEFA Champions League as well. So the final whistle has blown on the second episode of Road to Istanbul. I really enjoyed hanging out with Mario and Cenk, who shared great stories about the UEFA Champions League and also about Istanbul. That's the city that's, of course, hosting this season's showpiece event. We're just getting started on this series. More to come on the third episode, so stay tuned. See you soon.